The Gampaha district was the worst affected by the floods. The Disaster Management Centre notes that so far 23,000 persons have been affected in the Gampaha district and 2,088 persons have been housed at 10 camps that have been set up.
115 houses in the Telangapatha area and Paliagoda remain underwater. Moreover, a number of houses in the Meegawat area and Vanawasala, Kalniya were also inundated. The Disaster Management Centre said that 11,257 persons from 2,620 families in the Wattala Divisional Secretariat in the Gampaha district have been affected by the floods. 190 persons have been housed at 2 camps in the Wattala Divisional Secretariat. Moreover, 1,597 families have been affected in the Jayala Divisional Secretariat. The Disaster Management Centre said that 413 families in the Jayala Divisional Secretariat have been housed at 7 camps. Meanwhile, the Disaster Management Centre goes on to say that 22,971 persons from the Minuwangoda and Mahara Divisional Secretariats in the Gampaha district have been affected.
විශේෂයෙන්ම කොළඹ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ගත්තාම කොළඹ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ කොළොන්නාව ප්‍රදේශයෙන් තමයි වැඩිම.
We have received reports that the worst affected area with the most number of inundated houses is Kolonnawa in the Colombo district. The affected persons are being housed in camps and measures are underway to provide them with relief.
ඇඳුම් මධ්‍යස්ථානවලට ජනතාව මේ අවස්ථාවේදී රැස් වෙමින් පවතිනවා. ඔවුන් සඳහා සහන වැඩපිළිවෙල අඛණ්ඩව ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
Meanwhile, one person was killed after falling into a canal in Hunupitiya, Kelaniya. Our correspondent said that the body was recovered after 3 hours.
The director of the Department of Meteorology, S.R. Jayasekara, had this to say regarding the weather conditions in the days to come.
අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම විමසිල්ලෙන් ඉන්නවා යම් කිසි විදියකින් පීඩන.
We are closely monitoring the situation to see if it develops into a low pressure system. It will develop into a storm after it passes our area. There need not be any fear about this. We expect a rainy weather pattern in the coming few days. Thunder showers can be experienced in many areas during the evening hours and in the night, but we cannot say for sure what those areas are.
කාලේදී ඇතිවන සහ රාත්‍රී කාලේදී ඇතිවන ගිගුරුම් සහිත වැසි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙමු. ඉතින් සමහර ස්ථානවල තද වර්ෂාපතන ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට එම ස්ථානයේ හරියටම කියන්න බෑ.
Well, the revised electricity tariffs have been subject to intense discussion and debate over the past several weeks.
That's right, Sonali. Now, the blow which would have been felt severely by households across the country was somewhat softened when the President announced amendments on May Day. However, a new situation has arisen around the revised electricity tariffs, and we are prepared to analyze this in detail as well. Now, the revised electricity tariffs were announced on the 18th of April. We presented a comprehensive analysis on how these revised tariffs would be imposed on households and the industrial sector. It is no secret that there was massive public opposition to the revised tariffs. However, the President intervened to resolve the crisis. The President revealed to the country on the 1st of May as to how the revised tariffs would be amended.
We would take steps to reduce some percentage of the tariff for those consuming up to 180 units of electricity.
180 දක්වා විදුලි පරිභෝජනය කරන අයට අපි යම් කිසි ප්‍රතිශතයක් අඩු කරන්න කටයුතු කරනවා.
Then there were those who told me, please sir, we consume 90 units. But if we were to have a party at home or some other function, it would increase to 91 or 92 and the cost would be too much. So I said, let those who consume 90 units have a leeway of about 5 units to hold parties. At the same time, when I went to the villages, the rural folk told me, please sir, we use about 30, maybe 50 units and we are very careful to ensure we do not go over 60 units. Some said they were even careful not to cross the 30 unit mark. Therefore, I have said not to increase the tariffs by even 5 cents up to 60 units.
Now, in spite of the President's announcement, no tariff amendments have been published as yet. However, media reports today have indicated that there will be an increase in the unit price of electricity in the 30 to 31 to 60 unit bracket as per the amendments that are being prepared in accordance with the President's statement. When news first made inquiries from the Ceylon Electricity Board, the CEB said that a new tariff proposal had been submitted to the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka. On May Day, the President announced that there would would be no increase in electricity tariffs for those consuming less than 60 units. However, the CEB's finance manager P.A. Kulatunga says that although there will be no increase for the first 30 units, there will be an increase between 31 and 60 units. Now, this happens because although the electricity bill is calculated subject to the old unit prices, there has been no change to the new scheme. Nevertheless, the fuel adjustment charges have been reduced from 35 to 30% for between 30 to 60 units and from 40 to 30% from between 60 to 120 units. The CEB says that the tariffs will increase in this manner. Speaking on the press release program on our sister channel Sirasa TV this morning, JVP Politburo MP Anurakumara Disanayaka expressed these views.
The increase in the electricity tariffs is a distortion and the relief provided is also a distortion. On May Day, the President announced that for up to 60 units, the old tariff scheme would apply. Now they are saying that this is not the case. So thus far, the government has been making a false statement. Also, two types of relief were announced for those consuming between 60 and 180 units. This is minor and deceptive relief. They said the threshold would be increased from 90 units to 96 units. Now they are saying that this will only occur in 3 instances. They said the fuel adjustment charge would be reduced by 25%. This is fraudulent relief. This is similar to taking 1,000 rupees from the back pocket and placing 10 rupees in the front pocket with a smile.
Meanwhile, the National Trade Union Centre says that against this backdrop, they will stage a strike on the 21st of this month.
The President says amendments are proposed and the officials are saying something else. Is the President lying to the country or are the officials lying to the country? The country also has a problem as to whether they are both lying to the country together. The government has 67 ministers who receive free electricity for their official residences. These are public funds and we ask why. They spoke of an electricity mafia. What happened to this mafia? Why was it that the construction of a coal power plant that was to be completed in 2002 with Japanese aid was postponed? If the Chinese had more progressive technology, why have they put up a rusty old coal power plant here?
You're watching News First. Up next is a newspaper cartoon of the day.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa held discussions with the visiting Foreign Minister of Azerbaijan on the possibility of importing crude oil from Azerbaijan. The President's spokesperson for international media noted that this meeting took place at Temple Trees yesterday.
Over 90% of Sri Lanka's crude oil requirement is imported from the state of Iran. The visiting minister had told the president that Azerbaijan is prepared to discuss the matter more further. The visiting minister had added that Azerbaijan had directed its attention to the request made by President Mahinda Rajapaksa regarding investing in Sri Lanka. The president's spokesperson for international media added that the president had asked the private sector in Azerbaijan to come to Sri Lanka and look into the investment opportunities available here. Meanwhile, President Rajapaksa declared open the new building complex of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. A group including the Chief Justice Mohan Peevis attended the event.
The Buckingham Palace announced that for the first time since 1973, the Queen will not be attending the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting this year in Sri Lanka.
According to the BBC, she will be represented by Prince Charles at the summit in Sri Lanka in November. The Buckingham Palace spokesperson said, quote, "I can confirm the Queen will be presented by the Prince of Wales," unquote. The Queen, aged 87, is the head of the Commonwealth, and every 2 years, leaders meet to discuss global issues. The BBC reports that Britain is facing pressure to lead a boycott of the meeting, with Canada's government indicating that it will not attend unless specific criteria are met. However, the Buckingham Palace said that the Queen's decision was not related to the political situation, but due to the amount of long-haul travel that is undertaken by the Queen.
Sri Lanka has signed the annual Hajj agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, allowing 2,800 pilgrims from Sri Lanka to attend the Hajj pilgrimage. Senior Minister H.M. Fauzi signed the agreement on behalf of Sri Lanka. Arab News reported that Sri Lanka was given the same quota of pilgrims as last year because of the ongoing development work in the two holy cities of Mecca and Medina. However, Senior Minister H.M. Fauzi stated that so far over 7,000 applications have been received for the Hajj festival.
Let's now take a look at Action TV.
With the media exposing the matter, efforts borne by education authorities to remove the subject of business statistics from the advanced level syllabus through unofficial means such as making public statements on stages at school events were made unsuccessful. On the 30th of April, Action TV exposed another program which ran parallel to this campaign. This program was the prevention of students from exercising their right to transfer from one national school to another. The circular issued by the Education Secretary to enforce the prevention of students from exercising the right to transfer schools was withdrawn in the face of Cabinet becoming sensitive to the sentiments of students and parents. However, on several prior occasions, Action TV has revealed that the Education Secretary is evading the task of issuing an official written notification to the heads of schools, informing them that Circular number 14 of 2012 has been withdrawn. The majority of schools ceased the acceptance of applications for advanced level classes based on last year's ordinary level results by the 30th of April this year, against a backdrop where the Education Secretary had failed to issue written notification that Circular number 14 of 2012 had been withdrawn. However, on the 29th of April, a new circular was issued pertaining to the enrolling of students for advanced level classes. This circular, number 4 of 2013, was received by most schools only yesterday. Through the enforcement of this circular by school authorities, what actually happens is that, leave alone the right to transfer from one national school to another, students at 1AB schools, which fall under provincial councils, are prevented from transferring to schools with the same grading. This in turn influences the number of students who can opt for the business statistics subject for their advanced levels. This is because this subject is only offered at present at 12 national schools. The intention of this circular is to amend the 4 subsections of Circular number 14 of 2012. Subsection D of the circular prevents students from transferring from one national school to another. The Education Secretary, who says at the beginning of the circular dated the 29th of April that it is the intention of this circular to amend the 4 subsections of the previous circular, says in subsection D of the new circular that the previous 3 subsections must be followed to the letter. This circular enables the stringent enforcement of a system to which even the Cabinet of Ministers was opposed to just last year. What mandate does a single individual hold to prevent students from enjoying their right to be treated equally in the matter of education? When one individual is able to make ad hoc policy decisions, does it not violate all norms of good governance and give rise to conflicts of interest? Secretary to the President, this one is over to you.
In business news tonight, leading tour operators and a travel writer from China's Chengdu city arrived in Sri Lanka today. The overall objectives of this visit includes investment, trade, tourism, technology transfer and education promotion, as well as expanding cultural exchanges between the two countries through people-to-people contacts.
The Chinese government and the enterprises has launched many large-scale cooperation projects and programs in Sri Lanka. We can see airports, highways built by the Chinese enterprises. This time, the CPAPD delegation also want to make our own contributions. We want to make some tangible results, especially in the field of tourism. The Sri Lankan government has set a goal to increase 1 million tourists per year to 2.5 million. Chinese tourists account for 30,000 people per year. Sri Lankan government has a plan to increase the Chinese tourist arrivals from the current level to 60 or 70,000 people per year. By the end of 2016, our delegation can contribute to 30% of the increase of the Chinese tourist arrivals in Sri Lanka.
和下西洋有4次记载到的。